Hello, and welcome to Practical Experience with Interactive Video. Built within the Edmodo platform. I'm using Edmodo as my LMS. This course is an 8-week program designed for adult learners who have attended a breakout session that I am doing this year at my district as well as at various conferences entitled Interactive Video Made Easy. During that session, I introduce attendees to the concept of interactive media in education. And of course, in 40 minutes, it's hard to really go into the nuts and bolts of the process and how to build that. So as a bonus to the people who choose to come to my sessions, I am offering them an 8-week online course that's really a deep dive into interactive video. So this is an extension of a breakout session that I already do for adult learners. So keep that in mind as we go through my Edmodo setup here. All right. And I'm going to actually just go through and kind of share with you some of my insights about what was difficult and easy to set up and what I found to be exciting, as well as some of the things that I stumbled with as I was going through this. So the easiest thing to do is kind of just walk you through the entire course and hopefully we'll be able to get that done relatively quickly. As you can see along the left-hand side here, I actually have 3 or 4 different colors for this practical experience with interactive video. The reason for that is because I passed out KWL cards during my last session at WICCon, the Whatever It Takes conference just a week ago, and I had a green card, a blue card, and an orange card, and on those cards were codes. So the group code for them to sign up with for the green team was UGD8JU, and no one's signed up yet. I'm hoping that they do. I've added a few members here just to play around with it. But that was the way that I introduced them to the idea that there was this 8-week course available. I chose Edmodo because it didn't have a ton of bells and whistles. I wanted something that was fairly simple. This is the first online course that I've ever designed, and I didn't want to get distracted by everything that it was capable of. I wanted something simple enough to build a community and to be able to give assignments and to be able to have feedback and discussions, but I didn't want it to be overly complicated because I didn't want to be stumbling with it as I designed and taught this course. All right, so as you can see here, we have a typical general post, which is a note, and I can just type my note and I can assign that to a team. I can also attach files to it. I can share links, and I can add from a library. I can even schedule this for later, which I really like the ability to do. I'm probably going to end up doing that soon. As you can see, my first post here is a welcome to the group saying just welcome. Please read the welcome message below. There's a link to the course outline that should help you plan your time in this course accordingly. Now, I added the welcome note by using the share link. And what I did was when I clicked on share link, I put in the embed code for a published Google document. And that allows that to pop up right here within Edmodo without them having to go out onto the internet to find it. They don't have to leave the course. They can stay right here in the Edmodo LMS and read the welcome message. Now, if they want to read the course outline, that will just open right here within that same pop-up, and they're able to go through it. Now, the course outline is the outline that I built for 672. I have a note here saying that our first module will go live this Sunday on June 26th. So I haven't built out all the modules just yet because there really isn't a clean way to do that within Edmodo. I'm going to show you my folder structure in just a moment. I have everything laid out, and I'll just have to give assignments and posts as time goes on. As you can see here within my course outline, I have, I believe, 6 modules. I know 6 modules. Some of them are 2 weeks in length. I have the goal, what the learning objectives are, what their assignments will be, ideas to consider, what standards they're aligned to, the time frame for that particular module, as well as what their reflection questions will be for the week. I want to have a lot of reflection. It probably won't be necessarily graded reflection. I'm calling it connections because I want to build that discussion. I'm going to look at the reflections more of attendance in the course. All right, so that's the welcome. Let's dive into the folders so I can show you how this structure works. As you can see, I built an introduction folder as well as 6 module folders. Let's pop into that introduction folder. As you can see, there is that welcome letter as well as the course outline. My icebreaker is entitled "A Minute of Your Time." And what I'm asking users to do, attendees and learners, to do is actually create a video. Since they're going to be creating an interactive media video, why not get them started with video right away? I'm going to be asking them to create a video in which they compare some of their traits to a historical figure's traits. But don't tell us the name of that historical figure. It's up to the members of the cohort to guess. So they give us 3 options in their post, and when they post their video, they add 3 options to the discussion and allow us to choose which historical figure they think they correspond with based on their character traits. Now, one of the things that I didn't like about Edmodo is it doesn't really have a nice, clean forum for discussions. I could actually go ahead and put up the icebreaker as a post, but then the problem was that learners wouldn't be able to attach their files to that post. As a student, you can't add an attachment in your reply, and I want them to attach that video. So what I've asked them to do instead is create a new post with the hashtag icebreaker207 in it. One of the nice features of Edmodo is that you can go ahead and search for hashtags in this little search box up here at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and assign this post, and I'm just going to start off as a note. I'm going to say icebreaker activity. And I'm going to assign that to the Practical Experience with Interactive Video WITCon 16 Green Team. I could actually go ahead and add this to an individual if I so chose. You see I have a number of different accounts that I've been playing with just to see what the user experience would be like. But I'm just going to go ahead and assign that to the Green Team for now. I'm going to share the link. And this is one of the things that I really like. It actually goes ahead and finds the title of the page that you link there. Now, I'm not using the embed code, so this will actually take the user out to the actual Google document. I'm going to go ahead and click on Send. And that should now show up as the icebreaker activity for the student. Let's take a look at what they see. So here I am in that course as a student. And as you can see, here is that post that I just made. They click on it, takes them out to the Google Doc with their instructions. And they can like it, reply to it, share it, and follow it. And they can also add their posts to their backpack. This is something that I really liked about Edmodo, is that they can create an online portfolio, otherwise known as a backpack. They can collect all their resources in this little icon up here at the top. And they can collect their homework assignments as well as any activities that I have assigned them. They also merge the backpack with OneDrive and Google Drive as well. So I really like that feature. I thought that was a really nice piece to Edmodo, is that they can collect all their work. Additionally, they can see posts that come up here as far as notifications go. All right, let's go back to week 1, module 1. So here I'm going to be giving them a number of interactive media examples. These include some of our members of our cohort who were kind enough to share their work with us. And some of them you may remember from when we were working with media in our class. All right, let's look at week 2. In week 2, I've actually included the Universal Design for Learning object. I read in an article from the National Center on Assessing the General Curriculum entitled Differentiated Instruction and Implications for UDL Implementation, the following quote: "The intent of differentiating instruction is to maximize each student's growth and individual success by meeting each student where he or she is and assisting them in the learning process." With that in mind, Module 2 talks a lot about different instructional methods that can benefit from interactive media. So I actually created a thing link as my Universal Design for Learning object. And here it is now. I'm going to go ahead and click on the share button, and I'm going to grab the iframe embed code because I'm going to actually embed this when I give it as an assignment. Now I've already checked, and I know that I want to keep that to about a 667 by 500 size for it to work properly. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to go back to Edmodo. I'm going to add this as an assignment this time. So I'm going to say this is instructional methods that benefit from interactive media. And please forgive any misspellings here. Obviously, I will go back and check that. I'm going to give a due date of today. I'm going to go back and delete this a little bit later on. I can lock that assignment after it's due, and I can also add it to my grade book, which I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give the assignment description. Please review the thing link and add a reflective post. Now, obviously, this would be much more detailed when I actually assign it. And then I'm going to go ahead and share the link. Now, remember, I grabbed that embed code, so I'm just going to paste that right here. And it may or may not find the title of the web page. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on what tool I'm using. So I'm just going to call this interactive media for right now. And I'm going to attach that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and send it. And if I go back as a student and refresh that page, I now have that interactive media thing link right here. I can click on it. I can go out and let's go to the text resource here on Flip Classroom. I can read this PDF. I can also choose my audio resource if I want to listen to a podcast about Flip Classroom, a video resource that explains Flip Classroom, and a graphic resource. So I'm targeting a number of different types of learners with these different resources that talk about the same material. As a student, when I'm done reviewing this, I can go ahead and close it. And I can say, I really enjoyed the podcast. And this would actually just add a reply to my instructor. If I actually wanted to turn it in, I would have to click on this turn in button. And here's where I would say my reflection. In this case, I'm just, again, going to say, I really enjoyed the podcast. And I'm going to turn that assignment in. And we'll take a look at the grade book in just a moment here. In Module 3, I have some interactive media tools that I want them to explore on their own. Let's go back and look at Module 4. Within Module 4, I want them to start learning about storyboarding, and I have a list of storyboard tools here for them to look at and review and create their storyboard. I've also created an interactive rubric that I'm going to be including in Module 4 for my storyboard tools. It's not there quite yet, but it actually uses a form publisher add-in that works very nicely to create an interactive self-reflection that also acts as a summative assessment. Module 5 is all about copyright, and I took the video that Andrew Brault and I did, again, in our course on media, and I turned it into an Edpuzzle interactive video. So I'm going to make that an assignment as well. And I just simply have to copy that link out, go back to my posts, and say Edpuzzle assignment, and give it a description. Please review the Edpuzzle and click turn in when done. And what I can do with that is once they've completed the Edpuzzle, I can go and review the assessment, review their answers, and then just go back and add the correct grade from that assessment into the grade book itself. I'm not going to post that right now. I don't want to be doing too much cleanup later on, but you get the general idea of this, I hope. And that was Module 5. In Module 6, I'm going to be asking the learners to finalize their interactive media project that they've been building throughout the course, and then turn it in here. So there's nothing in that particular folder just yet. I'm not sure if there will be, because that's kind of the same module that we're in now, the putting it all together piece. So I'm not sure what will be there just yet, but I do have some time to figure that out. There are also a couple of nice features here called the quiz. Allows you to create a quiz on the fly. You can choose multiple choice, true, false, short answer, fill in the blank, and matching. And this can give you some quick formative assessment. And I can go ahead and add that first question and say, is this a quiz? And I can put in my responses, true, false. And as you see, you can even add attachments here, either from your library, or just a link or an embed code. And you can mark what the correct answer is. You can choose to randomize the questions. Really like this for formative assessment. It's quick and easy. And you can choose a number of different types of questions for multiple choice, true, false, short answer, fill in the blank, and matching. I'm going to go ahead and say done here. I'm not going to assign this once again. You get the general idea of how that works. You can also create polls. I can say, are you enjoying this course? And get some pretty immediate feedback, and just say yes or no. And then I can just go ahead and send that or add it for later. I have that ability to send later on almost every post, which is very nice. Now, what I really like about Edmodo is it does create this sense of community. As Rice suggests in making the move to K-12 online teaching, discussion forums and assessments like this allow us to provide an easy means of infusing social presence into your classroom and can facilitate the development of important community building activities. So this really does allow the students to be active with each other. They're able to reply back and forth, not only to me as the instructor, but have those discussions within the Edmodo LMS. Let's take a look at some of the other nice features. There's a progress tab here. I can look at any of the courses that I have live at the moment. I'm going to stick with green here. It's not easy being green, but there it is. As you can see, Kay Gubbins has gone ahead and turned in instructional methods that benefit from interactive media. I can view that work by clicking on the link. I can see that there's that post. I really enjoyed the podcast. And I haven't decided exactly what rubric I'm going to use for this yet, but I'm going to go ahead and give this student a 10 out of 10. I can click grade, and now that goes into her or his gradebook. So right now, Kay Gubbins has a 10 out of 10. Let's take a look at that on the other side. As a student, and I can see that that assignment has been graded. I get that right here in my notifications. I can open it up. I can read the instructor's comments if there were any, and know exactly where I'm at in the course. So there's a lot of chance for formative and immediate feedback and assessment here. I also have the ability to add badges, and I really like this feature. Badging is something that I've wanted to play with for a very long time, and I can add a number of different badges to the group. I have things like profile complete, good citizen, hard worker, homework helper, etc. I hope that Edmodo starts to allow us to use our own custom badges soon, but it's very simple to add that badge. I just click on that person's column underneath that badge, and now Kay Gubbins has a good question badge. My library icon, again, allows me to look at all the folders that I have created. I can also associate my OneDrive or Google Drive within Edmodo, which is very nice. As I said before, you can do a search. So if I'm searching for Edpuzzle as a tool, I can do so, and I see that it is an app, and we'll talk more about the apps in just a minute. I can see that it has a number of spotlights here, as well as a person who's associated with Edpuzzle. And I can also search Edpuzzle in the Help Center. That's very nice. They have a very good Help Center at Edmodo, and I've used it a lot as I've been developing this course. Within the spotlight, you can actually see a number of different highlights on different subjects and lessons and activities that other educators have already shared out there. So if you're looking for information that you want to add into your course, it's real easy to do just by looking here. So maybe I want a behavior intervention log. I can click on that. It'll open up and I can add that directly into my Edmodo library. I can download it, I can share it on Edmodo, I can add it to a collection. And the nice thing is it's Creative Commons licensed. This one happens to be a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International License. I am all about sharing, and I really like the fact that they allow you to do that within Edmodo and share things freely using Creative Commons. All right, so that's the spotlight. We've already had a quick look at what notifications looks like. Now, I would get notifications from across all my courses, and so would students if they were signed up for multiple courses. I have pretty typical settings underneath my avatar here to get started: invitations, profile settings, help, log out, etc. Edmodo also has a store that allows you to find a number of different apps that you can add to your students' app launcher. Now, as you probably saw there, on June 30th, the Edmodo store is going to transition to its new home, Edmodo Spotlight. I'm not quite sure what that means yet. I'm hoping it's good things. If I wanted to add, for example, Ideaphoria here to a group, I can simply click on it, click on Assign App to Group, and I can choose which groups I want to add that particular application to. Not going to do that right now. That would then show up in the student's app launcher. Now, I am going to be sharing with them PlayPosit and Zaption, or PlayPosit and Zaption and Edpuzzle and BlendSpace, and some other tools that are unfortunately not within the Edmodo store, but this makes it really easy for them to be able to get to. Now, one of the things I was excited about with Edmodo is that these were already built in. Unfortunately, they're not much more than shortcuts to the sites themselves. I was kind of hoping there would be a little bit more interactivity between Edmodo and these applications. Unfortunately, that's not the case. They're kind of like Google Apps in the sense that they just take you out to the actual website itself. But it's nice to have those bookmarks there for the students. I also have Office Online that I can integrate. I have an Edmodo Planner. I can send specific assignments directly onto the adult learners' calendars or student calendars. As you can see here, my introduction process begins prior to Monday on this coming Sunday for this particular course. And I can just add new activities as I so choose. And again, there's a snapshot, which I haven't quite figured out. So kind of that gives you an idea of what my course looks like, I hope. And I hope you have seen some of the things that I think have been successful. I'm a big fan of the ability to embed and have that right there within the Edmodo platform so that learners don't have to leave to go and find what they're looking for. What I found difficult, I'm not a huge fan of the note process because students are unable to add attachments in their replies. I would like that to be a feature. Hopefully that's something that will change in the near future with Edmodo, is that they allow learners to add attachments to their replies. I think that's a very powerful feature so that we don't have to use those hashtags like that Icebreaker 207. It was very easy to create those assignments, as you saw. That was one of my favorite features. And roadblocks I had to overcome. Probably the biggest roadblock was in that icebreaker activity, having to have them use that hashtag. I'm not a big fan of that workaround, but it is what it is, and hopefully it will work out in the long run. And that's practical experience with interactive video in as much of a nutshell as I could put it. And hopefully you enjoyed this little look at what I've been doing during EDT 672. I look forward to your feedback and look forward to continuing learning with all of you. All right, have a great 4th of July if I don't talk to you before then. Take care.